Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Real Talk with Salwa. Today, I have my friend Anastasia Malik on this episode. Welcome. Anastasia is a realtor, but what's the most exciting part about this episode is how she has a completely different educational background. She is a doctor of pharmacy, but because of her family, she joined real estate about 3 years ago.
Yeah, 2021.
So, Anastasia, why don't you tell me a little bit about the last 3 years, how your family convinced you into becoming a realtor?
Well, I don't think it was really them convincing me as much as me trying to get into real estate. But it was pretty interesting. I was working as a pharmacist, just the only job I ever had.
Wow.
And real estate is very different, but I grew up around it. I had both my parents in real estate, my mom since the 80s. And then my dad, who was an engineer, went into real estate in the early 90s.
Wow.
And then my younger brother joined right before me, I think 2020. And then I joined in 2021. And it's very different, but it was definitely good to have their support.
Do you feel like you're going to go back to the pharmacy career or you're enjoying your time in real estate?
I'm really enjoying real estate. It's definitely challenging and every day is different. I don't think I've had two identical days since I joined real estate, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. Maybe to somehow, once I get used to this schedule and everything, maybe to somehow do something with my pharmacy degree.
Yeah.
Other than just renewing it every year, the license.
Yeah. Do you miss it?
Honestly, no. I go into a Shoppers Drug Mart and I feel bad for the pharmacist.
It's a lot of work for them. Like, is it hectic? What is the schedule?
It's a great career and I'm very passionate about it. But I think it's just the idea of being locked in from 9 to 5 or in a pharmacist's case, maybe 12-hour shifts.
Wow.
Yeah. And you're just, it's not even about the standing all day. I got used to that. It's more of the freedom and, I couldn't really go anywhere. I just had to work all day when those were my shifts.
No taking vacations.
Limited vacations, which, I can't do that anymore.
I know how your last year was, so no, you can't do that.
Yeah, it's definitely a no.
Yeah, but your parents have been in the industry for so long that they're quite well known. And your dad is also a coach in real estate. And he loves the Mike Ferry coaching system because he used to be in that.
Yes.
So growing up with that and then now doing it yourself, did you feel like, oh, this makes sense now?
It kind of felt like my upbringing and dinner discussions of hearing nothing but real estate talk. It sort of feels like it prepared me for where I am now.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's very different than just listening to a conversation and working it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a very interesting transition. And I think when I was a kid, my mom even told me some of my first words were related to real estate, like 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom. She said I used to pretend to be on the phone like her. So
I love that.
I know. But yeah, it's definitely something that I think I always envisioned and I finally just did it.
That's amazing. But after being a pharmacist for about 10 plus years?
I think 12 or 13 years, I've lost track of time.
That's a long time. So would you recommend somebody in that career to just try something new?
I think I recommend to everybody to always have a plan B, to always have a backup, to always have 2 paths of income.
Correct.
I was lucky enough that I could quit and get into real estate directly because I had that support from home. I'm not sure if everybody else could do the same. I usually tell people to get into real estate while you still have your job and don't leave full time until you're making that money in real estate.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people say, I want to become a realtor because I can make my own schedule or I'm not answerable to anybody. And been in the industry for, 2.5 years now. It's the opposite. Like, yes, I was answerable to somebody before in my corporate career, but now I am waking up earlier. I have more work to do. There's no 9 to 5. I'm doing showings after 5 p.m. a lot of times. I'm doing buyer consults after 5 p.m. Weekends are actually my busiest time. So how is that transition for you into this career?
Yeah, that's definitely different. It's nice to vacation when you feel like it, but you're always working.
Yeah.
For one. Number 2, just like you said, we're kind of around the clock. And I think it's up to us to create those boundaries where you're not getting calls at like midnight 11, and beyond.
Yeah.
or even earlier than, 6 a.m. It's a bit early to receive a call unless it's an emergency. But I totally relate to you in that. I feel like I'm working more now, like at odd times. You don't work a straight shift. You can break up your day. The good thing is you can run errands in the middle, get your workout in or whatever it is.
I love that. We're like the evening workout girls.
Yes. We switched it up.
We don't want to wake up early every day to work out. So
yeah, sometimes it's an evening workout that does it. Yes, exactly.
So does your dad put a lot of pressure on you because, he has high expectations being in the industry for so long, your mom and dad?
Yeah, they expect more from me than a regular person getting into real estate with no experience. And I think that they've seen since I was a kid, I'm always a go-getter, whether it was in sports or, actually, no, I quit piano, so that doesn't count. But
So you did quit something.
I did quit something, but I was very goal-oriented when it came to, especially grades. I was always doing really well in school. And I think they thought that, she can always do better. No matter what I do, she can always do better. They know my potential.
That's amazing. You're in the Brantford market. So tell me specifically about what changes happened in the last year and a half over there with 10 interest rate increases.
Honestly, it definitely affected the market, but the market should never affect your work ethic, I think. I don't want to use it as an excuse for why some things didn't happen. It was much harder for buyers last year too, I found. A lot of deals fell apart last minute, I saw, which was difficult for people. And I feel really bad for anyone who was affected by this. But I think right now I'm seeing anything that was sitting around from September even onward, I guess even August maybe, till December, everything is getting picked up right now. So I think that's a good sign that we're back.
In the GTA too, that same thing is happening. Like condos and townhomes that have been in the market for like 60, 80 days, people are making offers on and they're getting accepted. Also, multiple offer situations are back right now.
Yes. Yeah. I've seen that a lot with my own listings too.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So that's really good to see as well for sellers.
Yeah, I like that. So tell me about a very interesting deal that you were a part of when you started that you were like, wow, what the hell am I dealing with?
I think that would be the second and third clients I had in my real estate career.
Yeah.
I had my second client was a listing and the third was a buyer, and it was a first time buyer and an end user sort of listing.
Nice.
So I had I thought, which was a very difficult time, but I now know that's just the job. It was my first time working with buyers, and now they're really good friends of mine. So I'm glad I didn't give up at all. But
nice.
They were looking, and it was back when you were up against 20 to 30 people.
Wow.
Bidding, losing. And then I finally figured out what they want, what would work for them. And we ended up putting an offer on my own listing. The pieces started coming together.
I love it.
And I got a triple out of that, which was great. Like I double-ended it. And then for the listing that sold, I purchased for them as well.
Love it.
So things started to come together. You sort of learn how the game is.
Yeah.
And thank God everybody was happy. I'm so happy I secured a home for them because it was probably the best one out of everything I showed them, and it fit their needs. And now they have a dog.
I love it. And do they invite you now to everything?
Oh, yeah. I go there often. I visit.
Amazing.
I think I'm due for a visit pretty soon. So you guys know who you are.
I love it. Isn't it so cool that, being in the industry for about 3 years now, you're getting repeat business? Because repeat business is just one form of business. You have cold prospecting, center of influence, and at this stage, you already have repeat clients. So how do you nurture that relationship with people?
I guess my setup is a little different. I definitely do keep in touch with all of my past clients, and you're right, I do get repeat business and referrals from them as well. But I do get a lot of, because my parents have been in the business for so long, a lot of my clients, like in particular who I just spoke about, they were my parents' past clients' daughter and her husband.
Nice.
So that helped out a lot.
That's amazing.
That network that my parents created and their database that grew, and which now my brother and I are sort of nurturing their clients as well. But my parents still talk to everybody to make sure that they know you're still important to us as well.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Do you think that if a brand new person with no experience came in, they would be able to get the kind of success you got in the last couple of years?
Absolutely. I've seen it myself.
That's amazing.
It's just hard work.
So what are the 3 things you would recommend that these new agents do right now?
To block out, number one, in anything you do, block out all negativity. Anything that's draining your energy, just get rid of it. Yeah. I don't care if it's your spouse. Can I say that?
Don't get divorces, guys.
I don't care what it is. Just anything that's draining your negative energy. I'm not an advocate.
She doesn't mean that.
No, I really don't. I don't. But I kind of do. Anything that's draining you, you know what's good for you and you know what's bad for you. And that negative energy is contagious.
Yeah.
Just like positive energy is contagious. I would say surround yourself with like-minded individuals, which I find is really helpful as a realtor. You need a network of good people in your life, and especially other realtors. We're like a therapy network or something. Exactly. We help each other out.
I know.
It's really nice to have. And number 3, I would say don't limit yourself. Because I had kind of grown up thinking, maybe that's not for me. Yeah, maybe I can't do it. It's just a limit we put on ourselves. There's no difference between anyone and someone doing something more than you think you're doing. It's just a mindset. That's all it is.
It's so interesting. Mindset and cutting out negativity has been the theme of today.
Oh, really?
A couple other people that I spoke to said the exact same thing. And I don't think people realize how important cutting out the negativity is, because growing up, South Asian backgrounds, that we have, friendship, relatives, etc., there's so much emphasis on the time you have grown a friendship with somebody. And of course, if it's relatives, if it's family, cutting out people is not the go-to. Like, that's not something you would consider. But when it comes to friends, when you become self-employed and, when you were a realtor or a mortgage broker, when you have to do some personal development to dig a little deeper, get out of your comfort zone, you automatically become so self-aware and you start to see maybe these friends are not good for me. And then you eliminate people. So you have to make that difficult decision and cut off people, because just like you said, our business is hard. The last thing you want is somebody bringing you down, and only surrounding yourself with people that think you are so amazing and they inspire you to be better rather than putting you down.
Yeah.
So did you have to cut people in your life in the last couple of years?
I did. And for various reasons, I've had to cut people out. If they're bringing my energy down, it was like, I had no choice. And I don't really think about it. I just kind of do it. I just know what's good for me now.
That's good. So you have like a good set of boundaries.
Oh, absolutely. You need to. And I think that goes for people in general, not just in entrepreneurship. But I think that's really important to keep in mind. It's your mental health, and it's very important for anything you do. But especially when you're self-employed, there's nobody telling you, get up, do this, make your calls. You know,
you have to.
You've got to be self-disciplined. So it's definitely something that I recommend a practice that everyone should take on for 2024. Everybody should get rid of anything negative.
Yeah. And how do people realize what's negative?
I think your body will tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even like medicinally, we tell people if you think the treatment's not going to work, it's not going to work.
The placebo effect.
Absolutely.
I like that.
Yeah. We don't even give people anything, in good practice. That they say I'm not.
Sometimes they heal.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Your mindset is much more important than anyone thinks it is.
Yeah.
It helps you grow. And it's a funny thing too, that we're talking about medicine, like even in real estate, I've noticed I get a lot of senior clients and they seem to pick up on this, maybe the pharmacist in me, that they just pick up on this vibe. And
they have the healer energy.
Yes, exactly.
Like
and they automatically tell me everything. And their walls just come crashing down. And
I love that.
They feel a sense of comfort with me. So I think that comes with wisdom too. So they know what's good for them. And that's me.
I like that. And also, being realtors, our schedules are very all over the place.
Yeah.
So when it comes to connecting with other realtors, and we're pretty lucky in the sense that we're single. we don't have family. So we can literally put all of our energy into our business. Do you feel like that hinders your family life or dating life?
Being a realtor, social life in general, yeah, it does. It definitely affects. I'm going to pick work over everything all the time. I always pick work over everything.
And I'm sure your parents understand that
Of
because
course,
they know the business.
Yeah. They would never get upset if there's something I can't make it to or anything like that. My brother's a realtor.
Yeah.
Actually, my older brother has his real estate license too,
Nice.
in the U.S. And he's a pharmacist as well.
Nice.
So it's something we all just sort of maybe we just knew we should do it.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So nobody ever gets upset when work comes in the way. And the friends that really care about you, they'll understand that too.
Yeah.
It's not something that I found difficult. It's something that, you have a schedule, right? And I honestly do feel for parents in the business. Like I always wonder how my parents did it, especially my mom.
Yeah.
Geez, because she started it. And maybe that's why my dad left engineering to help her.
Yeah. And that's so interesting because usually it's, the man that becomes a realtor and then the wife might follow. But in your family's case, your mom pioneered this family legacy in real estate.
She did.
And she was doing so well that your dad said, forget about my engineering career, I'll become a realtor. I love that.
He
That
did.
never happens in our community.
Especially in our community,
Yeah.
being Pakistani. Am I allowed to say what we are?
Of course
Okay.
we are. Proudly Pakistani. Pakistani Canadian.
Yes, especially with that upbringing. It's
Yeah.
very rare, I think, that a man would follow into his wife's career path. And my mom says it all the time. They say behind every successful man is a strong woman. She said behind every successful woman, in my case, was a strong man. And they grew together and they
so
worked
cute.
together. I don't know how, because I think if I was married, I would want to be away from the person when I'm working.
So they work together, they live together, they coach together. Do they coach together
No,
too?
my dad does. That's his own. That's his baby. His
Okay,
coaching.
So he coaches. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm sure your mom coaches you and your brother in some ways.
Oh
in the
yeah, we
business.
pick up from both of them because they
Yeah.
have they complement each other very well. They
amazing.
have a skill set that is like no other. I've never seen two people that just survive a
Complement each other
partnership
so
like
well.
that, and then relationship on top of it.
I know.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing to do, but you're right. I think in my case, I'm lucky my family understands. I do feel for people that they miss kids' soccer games because of real estate or
Yeah.
it's
For negotiation.
absolutely
Gotta
it's
go.
difficult. I know my mom used to take me with her sometimes after school. Okay, I got to show a house, and I'd be sitting bored, not knowing what to do. But then I think as I got older, I kind of found it fun.
Yeah. That's amazing.
But yeah, so I was raised in real estate completely.
So amazing. So what do you plan to take your career to this year? Like you did amazing last year. What are you doing this year?
This year, I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone. For example, this.
Yeah, I know. Good
This
for
is
you.
something different for me.
Yeah.
I'm normally very private, but I think it's something that I'm growing into
You
now.
can't be a secret agent.
You cannot be a secret agent, no. And Mike Ferry.
We're so Mike Ferry now. I love it.
Mike Ferry oriented, yes. No secret agent. You've got to get out there and get out of your comfort zone. Do something you've never done before, because I think there's multiple pathways to success.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them, I think I'm going to try different methods of prospecting and
Will you
marketing.
try social media finally?
Yes.
Yes.
I will. I made my account public, so
Yay! That's a big win.
it's a big win.
What else do you think you want to do this year?
More collaborative work. Like I'm enjoying this. I think there's power when people come together and sometimes it helps if you're in a different city, you need that agent. I actually had a co-listing with an agent from Vaughan last year, and we double-ended together, and which was really nice because she needed an agent in Brantford, and I was there. And she reached out to me, another EXP agent, and she reached out to me, and it was great. We worked so well together. We just understood each other. We knew how to talk to our clients together because it was her listing, and then she put me onto it. And then she's like, I knew you could help me get it sold. This is amazing. And she's an amazing agent too. So it really, that made me feel extra grateful for the profession that I'm in.
I love that, because a lot of times, so we live in Ontario, there's so many cities. I can't in good conscience tell my investor client that wants to buy in like London or Sarnia or Brantford, for example, I can in good conscience say I can do the best job for them. And that's why it's so good to use our amazing network.
Absolutely.
And not that, we're just giving away the client. You're getting a referral out of it, and you're giving your client the best service possible for somebody that is local, somebody that understands the market.
Yes.
Even rental, because a lot of investors that want to buy outside of Toronto and the GTA, they want to work with somebody that can tell them what the property can rent for, what a good neighborhood is, what the tenant profile is going to be like. So I think a lot of agents need to think like that rather than being greedy about clients, because there's enough business for all of us.
Oh, there's plenty.
There are so many people that are looking to buy that there is no shortage of clients. And
yeah, I agree. I think we should tap into our networks. And sometimes people, they're driving which is great. If you want to drive 3 hours to get a listing, by all means, go ahead. But you got to know that market. You got to know that area, that neighborhood.
Yeah. But also driving 3 to 4 hours to do a showing, I don't think it's the best use of your time.
It's not.
So I have a lot of investor clients that want to buy in Windsor because, I love the Windsor market. I have a realtor and associate there. So what they will do is I will contact them that this is my client. These are the listings they want to see. They will show for me, and they will go another step above and beyond for me. They will video call me during that showing. So I'm in the process. I can see the red flags in a property, or I can see like the neighborhood doesn't look good, or oh my God, the water heater looks really old. So they go that extra step so the client that trusts me feels like I'm still in on the process. I will still help with their offer negotiation process, but it's not worth my time to drive 4 hours to Windsor and 4 hours back.
I agree.
In that time, I can get more listings, I can help more buyers, and then I trust my associate in Windsor to do the rest of the stuff.
And I'm sure when you've done a good transaction together, then that person in Windsor would then refer you in GTA.
Exactly.
You create a partnership right there. Like that's exactly what I did with my colleague in Vaughan.
Love it. That's amazing. Any tips for people that are starting out as a realtor this year? Like if you were brand new and if you didn't have the amazing family support, what would you do? How would you go about it?
I would definitely say anybody starting real estate with a job, like from a 9 to 5 or whatever previous past career, don't quit your job. Get your feet wet, because you don't get a paycheck every week sometimes, especially in the beginning. You don't really get that. So I would say definitely stick to your job and make the transition when it's comfortable. When it makes sense. And only you would know that.
Would you recommend everybody get a coach?
I would. I think it's human nature. We sort of deviate. At least from what I've seen, I cannot do anything without a little bit of guidance. And I think that it's important to have somebody, at least someone to hold you accountable. But I think coaching is the best advice. Accountability is huge. Needed. And I think coaching is the best way to get that beginner's kind of nervousness. Like you don't know what to do in your day when you're new.
Nope.
And anybody who says they do, they're lying.
It's like, having a routine and like having a schedule and time blocking is way more important now in self-employment as a realtor, especially than it ever was in any other career, in any other corporate career. I have never had a calendar and time blocked ever. And now I have to go by my calendar. And my friends know that they can't call me before 12 because I'm prospecting, I'm calling. 9 to 12 is call time.
It's good to create that boundary too. Like you said, time blocking, that they know blocked. It's done.
I'm not being rude. I just can't reach me right now.
I know it's hard because sometimes people don't get it, but most of my friends now are realtors, I think. So, or somewhat in that self-employment.
Is
so
that
they
a thing
kind of
now?
understand.
We can only befriend realtors because they get ours scheduled. So.
Maybe. I used to only be friends with pharmacists and doctors. So
well,
look at you now. Look at me now.
I mean, we're pretty new friends, I would say. And I think that if not for real estate, we wouldn't have met.
True.
Right? How could I have ever run into you?
Because I would have probably, I don't know, if it wasn't for real estate, I wouldn't even have moved here.
And you're not even that active on social media.
No, I'm not.
That's amazing. So
that's true. It definitely increased my network, and I made friends through real estate, clients in the mortgage world,
Yes.
realtors, a lot of people.
Real estate lawyers.
Real estate lawyers are key too. They're
That's
very
amazing.
helpful. Yeah. So, Salva, when did you get into real estate?
So I got into real estate 2021, but I did not, that was not the beginning of my self-employment journey. So in 2020 is when I quit my job, my HR career of 10 years. I just said, I'm done. And I became a mortgage agent. So first I became a mortgage agent because I felt like it's so easy. It's 2 weeks and you get your license. And I felt like there's so many realtors. I can't become a realtor. There's too many. But that was such a wrong mindset because I should have said there's so many realtors that are doing so well. So why not I?
Yeah.
So at that time I didn't. I got my mortgage license. I actually went to a Tony Robbins seminar. And that was a kick in my ass that I needed to say, I'm done. I hated my job. And 2020, became a mortgage agent, quit my job. And 2021, I realized I'm not enjoying this. I should become a realtor. Like, I loved the industry because, I was doing flips. I was buying single family homes. I decided I need to become a realtor and leave the mortgage to great mortgage partners that I met along the way. And then 2021, January, February, I started doing my real estate license course. 6 months later, I was licensed, and I had a great 2021. The 6 months of 2021 were amazing. And here we are now, never looking back.
That's amazing. So what exactly was it that led you to want to go into real estate after doing mortgages? Like, what was it about mortgages you were maybe craving?
It felt very administrative. Like, it felt like very tedious. I don't like doing administrative tasks. I didn't like, I guess, dealing with the numbers. I didn't like collecting documents, and I just didn't enjoy the process. I did well because that year a lot of people were getting second mortgages, third mortgages sometimes because they wanted to do renovations and stuff.
Yeah.
So I made a lot of my connections with helping people get second mortgages. But then I realized this is crazy. Like, these people will have to sell their homes to pay it back sometimes. And I was like, this is not fun for me. And the bank side of mortgages, I wasn't learning. I didn't have that guidance. So I decided to just get my real estate license because I actually love seeing homes. I kept watching a lot of these real estate shows, $1 Million Listing New York, LA, San Fran, HGTV. I was doing so many flips and stuff myself. So I wanted to be in homes. I wanted to show people homes. And that was why I said, you know what, let's just do the license. And yes, there's so many agents, but there's not a lot of good agents because I had had some bad experiences when I was buying.
Yeah. Oh man. It's funny. My parents always say that 10% of the agents do 90% of the work.
Yeah. And isn't it amazing that we could have been in that 10%?
We could have been that 10%.
We did really well. We were in the 10%. Well, I love it.
Let's see what happens this year. What do you find was your biggest struggle when you got into real estate? What did you find the most difficult?
So in the beginning, a lot of the people that I would expect to give me business did not because I was such a new agent. So a lot of the business I got was from cold prospecting. I did some Facebook lead gen, but my whole network shut me down. So that was very heartbreaking.
You mean people that you already knew?
People that I already knew. They were like, you're so new. How will you negotiate for me? I totally understand that now because the last 2.5 years, I grew my presence on social media. So I shared my wins on social media and I created that brand on Instagram, Facebook, and now I'm growing on TikTok. So last year, a lot of my network started coming to me.
Oh, that's
so
amazing.
Instead of me going to them, they started coming to me and giving me deals and, hey, I want to sell my home. I want to buy this. And that is the biggest compliment, the biggest win for me. Because yes, in the beginning, I understand I was a newbie. They didn't trust me with this big decision. But then they saw my growth and they came to me and the biggest compliment ever. Like, I will never take that for granted when your own network, when your own extended friend circle comes to you. Out of 77,000 agents that they can choose, they come to you. That's huge.
Absolutely. That definitely makes, it's the best compliment someone can give you. And then a referral on top of it.
Exactly.
That's even
So I'm
better.
pretty blessed like that. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I think it's a misconception. A lot of people think as soon as I get into real estate, people will come to me. You have to prove yourself.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter what you knew in your previous career. It doesn't matter what you studied. None of that matters. It just matters how you do your job and what you can show people.
Yeah, and I show people a lot on my social media because, you know, a lot of people might think this is oversharing, but we gotta overshare. We gotta share our wins, right? How will people get to know you?
Yeah.
And we're so lucky. Get on TikTok or get on Instagram and show anything, what your day looks like. At least 100, 200 people are watching you. Can you door knock 200 doors every day without fail? You might get tired.
Yeah.
It's cold. Your feet might hurt. But I can get in front of 200 people every day because of my wonderful social media following.
Yeah, that is the power of social media.
Yeah, my
World
phone
is a lot
is like
smaller.
my biggest, best business tool ever.
Oh, this is our office.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. That's amazing. What advice would you give to somebody who's just got their real estate license and they're trying to select a brokerage or trying to figure out where they fit in, what they should do, what area of real estate to work in?
So number one would be to get a coach. At least for the first year, you need to get a coach. Number two would be get in front of the camera, make videos. I know it's daunting, it's scary. You always feel like you got to look a certain way, but you have to get in front of the camera. Video is the way to go. Like, video is the only way to connect with people right now. Door knocking might not be comfortable for you in the beginning. Cold calling, yes, you will get hung up on. You got to do that too, but make video. That will be my biggest advice. And number three would be actually start paying attention to who roots for you. Eliminate people. Like you said, cutting people is uncomfortable, but you got to do it. Great things don't happen when you're in your comfort zone, right? So if you want great things to happen, if you want to make that bigger impact, you have to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, it's true. I think you nailed it when you said the people I knew didn't work with me. I had that happen in the very beginning where I'm thinking in my head, okay, I know. When I moved to Canada, I'm like, I know 10 people and they're all going to sell with me.
Yeah.
And they probably know more people and they're all going to sell with me. But that didn't happen. And some of them used me to ask for advice and then went through another agent to purchase or sell.
Ouch.
Giving the same information I gave. I saw the list price. Like, I look up things all the time.
Yeah.
And I ain't got no kids, so I have all the time in the world.
I live on the MLS. Yeah. I get it.
We live on MLS. We know
I love
everything.
it.
There's nothing anyone could hide from us.
Somebody actually did try to hide something from me. Yeah.
And how well did that turn out?
Not very well.
Actually, me too.
It's just that
Geo Warehouse.
It's like I knew. It's like, I see it. Why are you lying? There's one thing about, like, I understand you don't want to work with me. It's your prerogative. But why are you lying about it?
Yeah.
Damn.
I agree. Just be upfront. That's
You
okay.
think I'm not going to find out your house is on sale? I'm going to find out.
Yep. At the list price I suggested. Yeah, I know.
Terrible.
It's awful. And then they continue to, like, act like nothing happened.
Yeah.
But you just got to be tougher than that and grow thicker skin. And hey, like, there's, like you said before, there's so much business out there.
There is.
It's disheartening at first.
Yeah.
I think we should offer that advice too to people.
Yeah.
That don't let it get to you. Don't quit just because somebody didn't list with you.
You know, in the beginning of my career, there was a lot of people that were saying, we'll give you our listing, but not at 5%. We'll give you at 3% or 3.5%. I'm like, oh, so you want me to work for free? And my friends, you know, my real estate network, they're my biggest supporters, right? They're like, Salwa, you're just starting out. Just say yes. And I'd be like, no, I know I'm worth 5%. I'm not going to say yes, because if I said yes to that 3.5% listing, I will always be called the discount agent, the agent that gives discounts. And I didn't. I said no to a lot of business, but then I started getting the good business, the people that actually wanted to work for me. And then my broker said to me a few months ago, you're the only agent that is getting these 5% listing agreements signed. And none of my clients, knock on wood, have said anything bad because they seeing the value. Nobody argued with me about that 5% because they saw the value. But the people that were doing the whole 3.5, they listed with other agents and they didn't get the price that they wanted, or their homes are still on the market. And it's like, as realtors, as self-employed individuals, we have to know our worth.
Absolutely.
This industry in this city especially, it's kind of like, it's definitely tarnished by a lot of agents that have normalized this cash back and I'll cut my commission. No,
Yeah.
this is my paycheck. How would you feel if I asked you to give me a portion of your paycheck? That's not a nice thing to do.
Yeah, or the buy one, get one free. I'll buy with you, so don't charge me commission on that. I'm like, it's still work. Why would I work for you?
Yes, so our city is really messed in that way, but it's up to us to stay strong and change that.
Yeah, Toronto real estate market has definitely changed because of the influx of excessive agents too, right? They're all trying to give a competitive edge.
Yeah.
And I actually did have someone come up to me once, a realtor, and he said that, well, I charge only 0.5% or something really low for listing. And he's like, if you think about it, it's easy. I'm like, it's not easy. It's not easy to find people, to do the prospecting, the door knocking, the cold calling, the lead follow-up, lead generation even. It's difficult. And you pay money to do it. If you do it properly, you'll realize that you're just discounting yourself. It's not fair. Like we have to respect each other too as professionals. And I think this is something that's sort of lacking.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
It is very unfortunate because people just want to get their numbers up maybe too. But for each their own. Like, I don't believe in the practice of disregarding how much you work and discounting yourself. I think that it's very important to know your worth.
Yeah, this year I'm all about know your worth in every aspect of my life, right? There has been a lot of people that know their worth in business, but family life is suffering. So we have to have a holistic view of knowing your worth.
Yeah.
People disrespect you, if people don't respect your time, the reciprocation of friendship, things like that, they go a long way. So
yeah, for sure. More. That's very important. Could you, looking back, would you be able to name a time where you had a very challenging transaction with a client and how you overcame it?
There have been a few. This was like early last year, where I had a challenging listing where, the most challenging listings are the ones where you're not connecting with your client on price. So the price, the CMA, the price I had suggested was a number that my clients didn't agree with. I said, listen, I will list it for you at the price you want, but based on the first 7 days, how it's on the market, how many showings we're getting, we're going to get a clear indication from the market that your price is wrong. Are you okay to sign a price adjustment? And then we'll apply it 7 days later based on how it's going. So she agreed about everything. She was actually a friend, acquaintance, so to say. So I was expecting a little bit more
cooperation,
but it was not the case. That's when you see people's true colors. There was something that I write in my contract where if I am offering staging, it's going to be paid by you and I will reimburse you at closing. So I never used to do that at that time because of this client, because we discussed that she will pay for staging and I will reimburse. She completely disregarded that. She called me a liar. I had to pay for staging up front. And then last minute, after getting 5 offers, she did not want to sell anymore. So I put a lot of money out of pocket to make this listing happen. And then I came to a realization that I can get a lot of really good business instead of letting this one client drain me. So I had a conversation with her. I sent a cancellation of listing agreement because I was like, I've brought you 6 offers. They've all been at market value, very close to the asking price. I don't think you're ready to sell. Let's just do a cancellation. I wish you the best. Because I wanted to spend my energy getting more business. She said, no, you can. I'll accept this last offer. Because we had just gotten an offer that morning. So she signed the offer. It was conditional on financing for 3 days. But during those 3 days, she told me she's going to complain about me because I pressured her into signing that offer.
Oh.
She said, I don't want to sell my condo. Can we back out? Can you call the agent to do a mutual release? I don't want to sell my condo anymore. So I learned a lot during that time about how to, use contracts when it comes to that staging thing.
Yeah.
When it comes to, I almost felt like I should have recorded every conversation. It shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't work with people that you don't have that kind of trust with, because you should never feel like, oh my God, you're lying. I should have recorded the conversation and shown it to you. And this was a friend.
That's awful.
I sold that condo. It was great. But then after the transaction was done and everything was done, I blocked this person everywhere.
So they're not listening.
No. But even if they were, it's a matter of principle. It's a matter of integrity.
Yeah.
And integrity is very important in our professions.
Yeah, it really is.
If you don't have integrity, you don't have anything. Nobody's going to continue to come work with you.
Yeah.
If you don't have that.
Like, that's why I said, knowing your worth, not taking, so sometimes people get upset, especially when money's involved. They're very sensitive.
Yeah.
People get angry. And I understand a regular level of getting irritated. I mean, I dealt with people's health. So
Yeah.
if they were sick, they were cranky.
Yeah.
And they couldn't go in and see a certain person or whatever the case is, they're just upset. I never took it personal.
Yeah.
But when you personally attack me, like saying I never explained something to you, that's attacking my character.
Yeah.
I would rather not work with you. There's better ways to make money with a little integrity.
And that's what abundance mindset is all about, right?
Yep.
Like abundance mindset also applies to this. Don't take on shitty listings. Don't take on listings that are not going to sell at the price. Don't work with clients that are not respecting you, because that is also lack mindset.
Yes.
You're working out of desperation and scarcity. Anything you take on because of fear is not going to have a good result at the end of the day.
Yeah, we got to always look at the client. And if they're not agreeing with us on the price, then we should question their motivation.
Yeah. There's motivation and there's greed. Right?
There's also that.
If greed is the only reason they want to sell their home, then most likely in this market, it's not possible. But the people that I help, they actually have a need.
Yes.
They're either upsizing or downsizing, or they're selling because they're leaving the country.
Or a job change or something like that.
Relocation.
Yeah.
That's a real need.
Those are needs to move, not maybe wants to move if I'm getting my greedy price.
I'm getting a great payout, which was very possible in 2021.
It was.
Beginning of 2022.
And honestly, it's cycling, right?
Yeah.
So we can wait for that.
Maybe in the next
the greedy people's time is coming too.
Like, I don't have a problem with greed, but it's just how you go about it.
Yeah. Well, it's just the beginning, right? If your motivation is greed, then the responsibilities and the relationships behind that are going to reflect that as well.
Absolutely. Well, this was a great discussion, and I hope we can do more of these.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
Dig a little deeper on our goals and accomplishments. Maybe we'll do a follow-up mid-year or close to the end of the year to talk about everything that we have done this year.
That'd be great.
Have a wonderful, day, everybody. And if you have any more topics that you want us to discuss, send us a note in the comments. See ya.